Oh, yeah, that never gets old, does it? Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's me. Here we go. Welcome back to the happy hour hangout here at the Director's Garage. Been a minute since I've pushed all these buttons and turned all these knobs. Gotta check on my visuals. Let's see how it's all looking today, because... Oh, there it is. Oh, look at me. I'm a little dark. Go figure. So we're on a Friday for a reason. Caldera, new Caldera, revised Caldera, which we showed off a few weeks ago. Very cool. Loving that headphone. Was listening to them all day today while I was doing other things. Let's bump up the... Where's the little... There we go. This, maybe we do it a little bit this way. That's not bad. Give it a little zhuzh. A little zhuzh never hurt anybody. Hey, we got a lot to talk about today. How you guys doing? Welcome, Dan. It's been like a week and a week and a half or 2 weeks or something since I've done one of these. Goodness, it's like I got out of the saddle. I'm out of shape. I'm, had to go back, put on my training clothes. Do some laps or do some headphone laps. Why are we on a Friday? Well, I'll show you why we're on a Friday. We're on a Friday because of this fine gentleman right here. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. And we'll go here, and then we'll just do some of that. Will Smith. I did an interview with Will Smith on Wednesday afternoon. So that's why. I was with my ride or die, Kevin Frazier from Entertainment Tonight. That piece aired yesterday, if you happen to tape Entertainment Tonight. You would have seen my work on the air, folks. What else is going on? I've got some new Focal headphones. We're going to talk about those and show off and see what you guys think of those. I've got a record recommendation for today. If you have any viewer systems, send them in. directorsgarage@gmail.com. I want to see your system. Show off what you're working on. I can't show off all of mine because I've shot the next episode, which is a double ZMF episode. So we're getting 2 ZMF double goodness. Blind unboxings. I did them live. They were huge surprises. It was exactly not what I was thinking we were going to get. And it's going to be a ton of fun to play out. So that's going to be fun. I don't know if that will air next week because I'm on the road next week. I've got some interviews going on, and they got me traveling. So the happy hour hangout currently is going to be Friday again next week. Because of my travels. I'm not going to be around during the week. So, and I can't talk about what it is because it's an exclusive and quiet and whatever, and they don't want me chatting about that stuff on the internets, so I won't tell you what they are. But needless to say, the next episode is going to be fun. It's going to be great. It's huge surprises and all the things. It's going to be a great episode. You guys are going to love it. And then beyond that, I have to apologize in advance because there is every chance I'm going to get a knock on my door from UPS during this show. And I have a big, huge, massive wampin box coming with a massive, huge surprise in it for anybody who's not a Patreon of mine. It's huge. It's out of left field and fun, and I simply can't wait to show that off to you. That's a huge one coming. I've got some Noble stuff on the way. We've got a lot coming up. So like and subscribe. I never tell you guys to do this on this live stream. Like and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a couple of calories to click the like button, and it's a little thing. You'll subscribe. You don't even know. I don't even know who I'm subscribed to on YouTube. You just do it. You do it for goodwill. Okay. Oh my gosh, shameless self-promotion here. This is it's an exciting week in headphones because we've got brand new focals this week. And they're budget focals, at least as far as focal is concerned. If you look at, I mean, there's not cheap. They're still $500 to $700, but for Focal, not too bad. Like, you know, you look at it and go, oh, it's a pretty good price for a Focal to get into the Focal house sound, and they're M drivers. And to show those off in a few minutes, let's a couple more folks get in here. How are you all? What's your week been like? What's been ringing your bell? What have you been listening to? I'm going to do a record recommendation later today. One that if Chance D is in the audience, he's going to love this recommendation. He probably knows this record backwards and forwards, but it's a fun one. It's a really, I found this one this week while I was just doing my listening thing, you know, checking out some product. God, I can't show off any of the new stuff, but it's coming, guys. It'll be maybe late next week, early the week after. I don't see how. I've got the episode shot. I've got the basics of the next episode laid out, but it's a long way from done. And it's a long episode. It's going to be a jumbo-sized episode, like 30 minutes probably. So there's a lot of Director's Garage coming your way. And I just don't know how I'm going to finish it over the weekend. I've got to work on Sunday. I'm doing a premiere on Sunday, and then I'm off traveling. So I don't see how I'm going to get all of that done. Even if I work on it all day Saturday, it's not going to be finished. So we'll see when it's done. When it's done, it's done, and it's going to be great and fun and ZMF-y, and I'm having a lot of fun with it so far, and there's nothing in this next episode that's going to disappoint anyone, I promise you. Okay. What else have I been doing? Did some listening today. I got some listening in during the day while I was doing some other things. Cleaned up. Got a little of the Holly hair out of the office. Holly is in shed mode now because we're going into summer, and his coat's blowing, and I've got hair everywhere in this office. It's a very hairy situation, one might say. Sorry, that was lame. But yeah, I've been doing some Caldera listening. I had the Atrium out for my recommendation for this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't have a lot to show off for you. So let's just get into the headphone of it all. Why don't we do that? So up first, Focal released two headphones this week. Two, folks. And it's right here. Here's the big gun. This is the big one. This is called the, and I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry in advance, the Haydenus. It's got to be the Haydenus. Or Haydenus. I don't know, whatever. Nobody tells you how to pronounce it. Wait, Focal, please, would you work with me? This is a magnesium aluminum hybrid, like an alloy driver, and it's an open back. And these go for $700, which in the world of Focal ain't too bad, ain't too shabby for a Focal. Get into that Focal house sound. The only thing that I think is dangerous is that you're really close to the Batiste, and I love the Batiste, and I haven't heard these yet. So they got to beat the Batiste, I think, at $700 because you get all that other tech with the Batiste. Or the Bathies, if you're a dork like me from Chicago. But they look really nice. I don't know. You don't get the leather. It's going to be cloth on the ear pads, but I'm sure they have the same ring technology, so you can remove and put mix and match any pad you want, as long as it's got the Focal little hub in it. They have these sticker things, these little clips that stick out. But I'm pretty impressed by the looks of this. It looks like a pretty righteous purchase for about $7. Not too bad coming from the house of Focal. It's single-sided cabling. I'm never I like the double cable. I don't know why. It's the symmetry of it all. I don't know. But this is how they keep the cost down. They keep the cost down by doing this. And yeah, so, but it's got this typical, it's the same design as all the other Focals in this price range. So you're getting into a Focal for a decent price here. And I gotta say, it looks pretty impressive to me, I gotta say. So for what it is, not too bad. Now the sister to this is the exact same driver, it appears to me. And it's called the Asurus. Let's go back. Let's see if I can find the Asurus. Here it is, the Asurus, which to me is actually almost a little better looking. I kind of like this blue thing they're going with on this one. This is a closed back. It's just a closed back varietal of the same headphone, and it's a lot cheaper. These only go for $550 compared. So you're saving $150. You're not getting the open back, but I don't know. I mean, if it sounds good, I mean, it's all going to come down to sound. I'd want to hear these things, but they look really, really nice. These things look nice. These are my favorite pair of the two, as far as looks. And I haven't heard them, so maybe there's a reason. But they're the same M-shaped driver, but you know, the biggest difference between this and say the Utopia is you get a beryllium driver with the Utopia, and this is magnesium aluminum hybrid alloy. But it says it's extremely precise sound. So guys, I mean, if you're getting extremely precise sound, I don't even know why you need the Focal Utopia, because these are precise. It says so right in the literature. Marketing. You gotta love it. Precise. These are all about precision. But it's nice, you know, you'll get a case with them, you'll get the nice case, you'll get the things, they'll be closed backs and open backs and all the things. But I like Focal, but it's just going to come down to the sound signature on them. Are they going to be really mid-rangey? Are they going to be bright? Focal leans into that brighter sound, which sometimes helps and sometimes not so much. It just depends on what it is. But I am interested in these, and if they happen to come my way by a Audio 46, I think that they would be a welcomed temporary addition to the fleet here, because we have a fleet of headphones that I'm trying to get rid of, including the LCD4. What's for sale right now? The LCD4, the Expanse from Dan Clark, pretty much anything is for sale right now in this house. The only thing I'm not getting rid of is the stuff that people did custom for me. I'm not getting rid of the Atrium. I'm going to hang on to my ZMFs. The two ZMF front right now is perfect for my needs. I love both the Atrium and the Caldera, and I have use cases for each. And I'm not selling off. I had to put a temporary hold. Oh, we can't really talk about that yet. But yeah, so make an offer. I don't know. Get a deal on something. So much. We're going to get into the chat in just a few minutes. I'm going to let you guys fill that up a little bit. But that's the big news from the week. The big news from the week has got to be the two new Focals. The other, on the music end of things, the big news is the Deaden company called Dead Forever is opening this weekend at the Sphere in Vegas. They've taken the same spot as the what U2 was doing. So the U2 is now out of the Sphere, and the Grateful Dead are there, and the first reviews were pretty positive, so that's good to know. I think that's great. I'm a fan of the Dead. I like the Grateful Dead. You know, I feature them a little bit on the show here and there when I can, and it's great that they're going in there. They're saying that the visuals aren't entirely worked out yet, and it's pretty hard because, you know, U2 had a well-timed show that was set in length and you know, down to the measure so that all the visuals would line up with the songs. It makes them a little bit repetitive, but the Dead, as you know, can go 18 minutes on a song one day and they can go 8 minutes on it the next day. It's just up to how they feel, and the visuals, I'm just interested to see how they're going to time all of that, because they're not used to it. Now, there are only two original members of the Dead. I think Mickey Hart was in the first version of the Dead, and Rob Weir and Mickey Hart are the two left from the OG group. Everybody else has been replaced. They got John Mayer playing with them, which is kind of cool. go in there and see John Mayer play for a couple of weeks. At least check out his watches, whatever watch he's wearing for the day. That's always good to know. Well, John Mayer is like the biggest watch collector on the planet. Probably the most famous watch collector on the planet. But the initial reviews came back. Variety was there last night, and they published a review. And there are some YouTube videos online from that concert from last night. So you can, after I'm off the air... No, go now. Go look at the dead. Don't look at this show. Why would you want to watch this show? Shame, people. Shame. I have no shame. But there's some videos out there. You can check out and see some of the performance and see what they were doing with the video walls. There's some good stuff. Some of it looks really cool. Some of it looks like kind of half done. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I personally would love to go spend 4 hours with the Grateful Dead. It's a long show. It's a really long show, which is great because that's what you want in the Grateful Dead show. Kreutzmann is not on this. He has been in the previous iterations of Dead & Company. He is now retired, allegedly. So he's one of the last few that was with them. So that's good. All right, let's head into the chat because I'm running out of things to talk about on my own. I hope you guys start typing in your comments. Oh, I got to talk about, how did I forget to mention this? The Patreon thing. Last week, Wednesday, we were not on the air because we were doing Patreon. I did a Patreon stream instead. And the reason the reason that I had to supplant the live stream, the normal Hangout, was because the guest that I had was only available on that day. I couldn't get. Normally I book the Patreon show for one Saturday a month. We had to move it to a Wednesday because they had to. They had to move it to a Wednesday because my guest couldn't be there. And the guest was Ray Samuels, the Ray Samuels. This is the guy who created the Dark Star. This is the guy who created the B-52. These are great. And we learned all about Ray's history, his involvement. He was an engineer for the military. And when he started making amps, he uses and continues to use all military grade stuff. And it's so cool because we were talking about him a few weeks ago on this show, on the live stream, and a couple of things happened, and boom, I got contact with him, and I said, hey, would you do my Patreon? Because I like to get a guest. And that's a cool thing because everybody's face-to-face, and you all can interchange. Y'all can exchange questions. Cheers, everybody. It's happy hour. It shouldn't be that serious. Super exciting that I got this legendary amp maker to talk about his stuff. He's got a new product out. I asked him, because the question we had a couple weeks ago is it says it looks like you can still order the Dark Star online. That website is basically defunct, we learned. You can't order like a Dark Star today. They're out of production, mainly because his supply chain for the parts for the Dark Star dried up during COVID. The person who made the chassis, the company that made the chassis, went out of business. So he doesn't have a way to make a chassis for it anymore. It would take a lot, and he said he figured it out, and it's well over $4,000 or $5,000 just to make the amp, not let alone pay for his time and his effort to assemble one. He said the price on that amp would go way through the roof if he could even get the parts for it. But he does have a new product coming out in the next few months here, you'll be hearing more about it. He's debuted it at a couple of shows. You've been able to see it. It's called the B21. It's a solid state amp that's two-sided. It's got an electrostatic side and it's got a dynamic side. So it'll play both electrostatics, and it's going to list at $12,500. So it's up there in price too. It's a pricey amp, but you're getting Ray Samuel's design, the man who wrote the book on headphone amplification, one of the books anyway, and you know, with all of his quality. He talked about all of the steps he goes through to ensure quality on his stuff. Like, anything ever breaks on his stuff, you just pay shipping and he fixes it. That's how he stands behind his stuff. Just an amazing guy, a great hangout. If you join Patreon for some reason and you want to, it's $3 a month. I'm getting rich, folks. I figured out how to get rich on this channel. $3 a month will get you a ticket to those live streams, and I've had really good guests. I've had Zach from ZMF, I've had Ryan from Mod House, I've had the guys from Auroras Audio, and I've had Ray Samuels now. We're getting good folks in. I've had a rep from Noble, Kai Moulton, the son of John, who's working for Noble. And he came in and talked about their new wireless TWS headphones coming out. Lots of good stuff. We've had lots of good exchanges on that. It's $3. And if you subscribe, I'll give you links to all of those past videos. I've got them recorded except for the first one because I messed it up, which wasn't, there was no, I don't think there was, I think it was just Ryan from Mod House was on it. So Ryan, I'm sorry, buddy. I lost yours. But the Zach episode, all of them are you'll get links to all of it and it's $3, folks. So much entertainment. You'll get 9 hours of stuff for $3. So good. Audio Fool says he busted out his Radiance for the Focal episode, for this Focal episode. Yeah, we'll talk. I think we can focus on Focal. I don't own any current Focal. Oh, I do have the Batiste, but it's at work. I don't have it here. I do have the Batiste, yeah, so, and I like them. I liked the Focal Utopia. I sold it a while ago. I finally just moved on from it. And then the new Focal was out, and I was just like, you know, what am I hanging on to this for? I've got all these other new headphones that are so exciting. So, but I don't have any current, like, the Stellia I got rid of long ago. I love the Focal Utopia. It just was time to let it go and move on because I can't hang on to everything forever in this place. I've got to turn stuff over so I can buy new stuff. Because it's a curse, boys. It's a curse. Ace of Spades, howdy. Ace of Spades. Mr. K, good afternoon. Lots of stuff happened this week. He purchased a WA33 Standard Edition amp. Very nice. That'll set you back about six grand. Very cool. And a new 1266 TC. I hope they drop the price on that for you. I hope they did, because they raised the price during COVID on the 1266, and let's face it, the parts aren't as hard to get anymore. You know, you can make that argument while you're there, but that shouldn't be a $6,000 headphone anymore. That should be significantly lower. And I say this as a loving Abyss 1266 TC owner. First time Abyss owner, he liked the Diana TC. I want to get a Diana TC in here. That's one of the headphones I want. I did try the Diana MR and I was meh on it. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was okay, but it didn't like blow me away and go, oh, I've got to get a pair of these. I thought less of them. Hopefully 1266 will be great. It's a fine headphone. It's one of the finest headphones in the world. And I love them. They're great for soundstage. I go hot and cold on the mids on them sometimes, because sometimes on the wrong material they can get a little honky. But generally speaking, they're one of my favorite headphones, and they're one of the best ever made, in my opinion. So I think you're gonna be fine with that, Mr. K. Stepping back into headphones after 3 years, my God, it's like shaking off the dust. You're coming up out of the grave and, you know, cloud of dust around you. You're getting back in, boys. I'm going in. There are reviews of the new Focals out there. Okay, well, I haven't seen them. I've got no time for anything, and I don't read other people's stuff generally. Because I like, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do my own thing and tell you what I think, and either I'm wrong or I'm right, but it's the thing. Siri says, good evening and good night. I guess you're across on the other end of the world. Lastro says there's a new 6 series Sennheiser closed back and a new Meze, plus the insanely expensive new Q scaler from Cord. Yeah, I read about that today. I got an email about that, and they also released some other products, but I didn't know where they fit in the line, and I haven't had time to look them up. And I don't want to do that live on the air because it's going to be kind of boring while I read. Nobody wants to watch me read. But I'm a Cord fan, and I think they make great stuff. How much is the Q scaler going for? I just got the blurb today that it's their new super scaler, and it's going to be even better. But I don't know what it's cost. I don't know what the cost is on that. The last one, the M scaler, was about $4,000, as I recall, about 42, 46, somewhere in there, new. I got mine for less than that, and I cycled through the whole Cord thing. I still have one Cord product. It's literally right here, just off camera. I have the original TT1, and it drives my Genelex. It handles my near field speakers, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's phenomenal. And I like the TT2. I thought it was even a little better, but this is more than good enough for Genelex speakers. I don't need the hyper resolution of anything else. This little unit here has worked. I've had some issues with the USB connector on the back. 3 times I've had to have that thing resoldered. But the last time it was done downtown at who's the big audio repair guy in the city, and I'm just drawing a blank suddenly. Whatever. But it's like the big guy downtown he does all the repairs. Like anytime you have a piece of audio, I've taken all my stuff there. George Meyer, AV, George Meyer. In LA, there's nobody better for repairs. And you walk in there and it's like a treasure trove of vintage and current best of the best stuff. And it's shelves of it. I think I showed a video once, a walkthrough. Like I said, hey, can I just do a quick little walkthrough down the aisle of like all the stuff you have in for repair? And it's like everything. It's Macintosh. It's like it's incredible. It's all of the best stuff. And Macintosh just rolled off my tongue, but it's like if you think like Dan DiAgostino and Krell and every major brand, Meridian, all of it is there, and it's like just packed shelves of it, and it's amazing. Totally cool. Michael, have you been to Munich? No, and I know that the Munich Audio Show, was that last weekend? I think it was last weekend. I have no, unless I get sent to Europe for something, I don't do this for a living, so, no manufacturer is contacting me and going, hey, we'll fly to Munich to check out our stuff. They're like, stay where you are, maybe we'll send you an email sometime. You need not a demo product, but we'll send you an email. That's the level of this show. In my coming on strong to 6,000 subscribers. Getting rich quick, people. It's been 4 years, 3 years, 6,000 subscribers. I do everything wrong to grow a YouTube channel. So funny. Audiofool says new ZMF Caldera closed and Aegis amp 2. Was that at Munich? Yeah, I've seen. Well, the Caldera closed. We debuted on my Patreon Hangout, actually. Zach brought those and gave us a first look, albeit in a small window because I didn't record it right. But he showed those off to our group like before New York Can Jam, which is where they debuted. And the Aegis he's been working on for a while, but it looks cool. Yeah, it looks amazing. That's a cool one. There's a Wells Dragon Level 3 tube hybrid amp on HeadFi that keeps winking at him. He says spades. Wells, Wells is like that super, like you want to extend your pinky when you're talking about Wells. It looks really fancy. It's very expensive stuff too. So great. But Wells is, yeah, that's next level stuff. Beautiful tube amps. I've seen some beautiful stuff from them. And I've listened to them on, I think it was the Meze Elite. The first time I heard Meze Elite, it was on a Wells amp. And it was sitting at, it was at the one of the Headphone SoCal meetings. Whoops, coaster breakage. Cheers, everybody. We're at Friday. We made it through the week. I feel like punch drunk. Only how big? Yeah, I don't have a worthwhile opinion of it. I assume it's lovely. Spend some time with Wells, and almost everybody. I've never heard anybody come in and go. I've heard some complaints that Wells is too expensive, but I've never heard anybody say it's bad sounding. You know what I mean? You know the difference there. Like, and I appreciate that. I mean, look, if they can get it, they're clearly in business and they're getting what they're asking for their stuff. So I would say it's worth it. But I haven't spent much time, if any, with, just a couple of little listens here and there, but nothing to form an opinion on at all. So Audiofool, you and I are in the same boat on that. But it looks cool. Their stuff looks amazing. Mad respect for them. And it looks like it's well built too. That's the other thing. So I'm a fan of all this stuff. I don't get it all in, and I don't have a contact with Wells. Audio 46 isn't a Wells reseller, so the chances of me getting Wells stuff until I get like 20,000 subscribers or something, I could just call them up and go, hey, I got this dumbass show that people are watching. Right now, I don't have enough people watching. Probably because I'm not getting enough episodes out. Because I'm sitting here talking to you guys live instead of cutting. But I like doing this. I like doing the live stream. It's important to connect, folks. This connection's everything. So much fun, though. There's a new Abyss Diana. Yes, I saw that. It's like another version of it. But I think the TC is still the top tier of it. So, yeah, there's that. But I haven't heard it. It's not going to be until fall that I'll get to hear that. Because the guys at Abyss never watch the show, or they don't like the show if they do watch it. Because I called them once to try and get them. I think I just tried to get somebody on as a guest somewhere. Because I was reviewing the 12. I think it was when I got the 1266 TC in. And I wanted to ask them some questions about it. And they said, we don't have time for you. I'm like, well, okay. Well, I'm doing a nice thing on your headphone. It would be nice if you had something to say, but whatever. So I don't know, maybe they just don't like the show, and I don't blame them. A lot of people don't like the show. I speak the truth, guys. I speak the truth. Okay. There's a new, so there, yes, we did that one. There's a new Abyss Diana. Yeah. I did hear about it, but I haven't heard it or seen it, so I don't know. I think it's a riff on the MR, but I'm not sure. Only heard Wells briefly at Can Jam. Yeah, we're in the same boat. Audio Fool. A good point about the price hike. Mr. K says of the 1266, he did get a break on the price. Word to the wise, never pay retail. Yeah, and I'm glad you did, because I think it's just a crime that they raised the price. I understand, parts got harder to find during COVID, harder to manufacture, but that's an all in-house thing. Like, they manufacture that in-house. So unless the scrap or whatever it is that they use for the aluminum, the raw aluminum, cost them more, and that's what it was about, I don't know. But it was kind of disheartening to see them jack the price up by $1,000, and I'm glad that they cut you a deal on it. I bought mine used. For, I think it was or 41, I think I paid for mine. But it did come with the fancy stand that everybody wants, the room stand that holds it's the only stand in the world that, including Abyss's own $500 contraption, it's the only stand in the world that holds the Abyss 1266 properly, which is by the frame, not by the headband. There you go. I've shown that off on the show before. Let's go back and watch the past episode. I won't do it right now. Last round says, more than the Dave was new, Rob said. The new scaler. Worthless for headphones, in his opinion. Yeah, here's the thing. years ago, when the M Scaler first came out, and this was probably pre-COVID, I'm guessing, and this show was in its, no, it was just after COVID hit. I was surfing around YouTube, and somebody did a demo where they were playing in a room on very high-end speakers with very good quality microphones, some music over their system using the M Scaler, with the M Scaler in the path, pardon me, burping, and the M Scaler out of the path. And the difference over YouTube. Now, this is YouTube. It's encoded. They encode the crap out of this. I mean, YouTube compresses the crap out of audio, you know, generally. So I'm like, and I could hear this massive difference, and I thought, wow, if I could put that in a headphone path and do that same test, that would make a great video. And I tried to make that video, and I butchered it, absolutely butchered it. I couldn't tell the difference. I don't think anybody could tell the difference. It was an epic fail of an episode, and yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't even know. I was never truly happy with the M Scaler / TT2 setup. I enjoyed it. There was a newness to it for a while, but on the lower settings, I would hear a click every now and then that annoyed me, and I never was able to hunt down the click. And it wasn't a cable. It wasn't. There was something going on there, and then I don't know. I don't think it's worthless, but I think you've got to really buy into it for it to make sense for you. And I know people that swear by the M Scaler, and I'm like, on the current M Scaler, you know, the meager $5,000 M Scaler. And if you can hear a difference, you can hear a difference. I believe you. I just know I heard a definite difference on the YouTube video. And when I tried to replicate that in an environment where I was really controlling things and recording outputs of the M Scaler direct, of the Hugo, well, it was the TT2 direct, because the M Scaler runs ahead of it. Oh, this is for work, for Sunday. I'm working Sunday. Yippee. Great. So but I could never make it work. I couldn't make it work in a headphone setting, and I couldn't even replicate the tests that they were doing. So I definitely heard it over those guys' loudspeakers. It was a much lesser effect, if an effect at all, on headphones. And I certainly couldn't make it sound as obvious as it sounded in this YouTube video I saw. I wish I had the link to it still. I'd put it up for you guys to listen to, and because I think it's I think you think you would hear it as I heard it. But I don't know, Last Rhino. I hope it's not worthless. I hope it's not. I hope it's all the things. But it's a piece of gear that's going to be priced. If it's more than the Dave was new, which is 16 grand, it's out of my price range. I'll never buy that. Certainly not as long as we live in this house. Oh, Lord. Oh, what are we doing? But I have thought, you know, I'm passionate about Cord gear. I think Cord gear is phenomenal. Like Hugo TT, all of it. Hugo 2, TT2, phenomenal. All of them were great. I just don't know that the M Scaler did everything that I wanted it to do for me. Sergey says, have you heard of RAL, and what do you think of Magna and Imatis from them specifically? I've heard the RAL in a show environment. I've never spent much more than a few minutes with them. I don't have a formed opinion of them. My concern with the RAL, in my opinion, my concern with the RAL, and knowing my my tendencies with headphone stuff, the RAL has a very specific sound. And if you like that sound, you will love the RAL, right? But specific sounds for me wear old really fast. It's something that I will dive into for 2 straight weeks and go, God, this is the best. It's so awesome. And then I'll be like, I'm kind of bored. This is the nature of me. This has nothing to do with Rawl or their products. This is just me. I know I will get tired of it after a period of time and I'll want to move on. And I don't know that I want to go into a whole universe of stuff if I'm going to get bored with it in short order. And that's my fear with the Rawl. If somebody sent one to me to review, no problem. I would do it in a second. I would spend time with it. I'd enjoy it, have a great time, review it, and send it on its way. But it doesn't make sense for me to buy into, because I just know myself better at this stage in my life, being over 50 years old. I know myself. I know myself very well, and I know that it's a trap. It's a money trap for me that I should avoid from my own personal perspective. Ryan Dietz in the house. Ryan Dietz, very good, very good. You'll see his Mod House Tungsten in the next Director's Garage episode. Believe it or not, you're going to see a little of it. It makes an appearance. Ooh, eBay telling me something. I think my wife bought something. She bought some jeans or something. It's so much fun. Cheers, Ryan. Hey, welcome to Friday, buddy. I hope you get the weekend off and you're not spending it all building headphones, because you can't crank those things out fast enough, as we found out. Ryan was on the live stream with Ray Samuels. I mean, guys, it was such a good meetup, and I want to have him back because I went back and I watched that episode. It was the Hangover Hangout from my Patreon. I went back and watched it, and there were direct questions that Ray got off on a tangent because he's passionate like me. And it's like, oh, look, squirrel. And he walks down and he forgot to get back to the question that was asked. So I want to get him back in and ask him some specific questions at some point, and try and get some answers, because there were some really good questions from the audience that I didn't think got answered. But still, what a treat that was. Again, $3 Patreon. God, I'm so awful. And it's my shoulder cream that you guys recommended, the hemp cream. Oh, I want to do a record recommendation real quick. Let's pause in the chat. You guys keep commenting in the chat as you want. I want to talk about my record of the day. Can I call this up? I didn't have this preset. Sorry, guys. Hang on. Find me images, please, on Google. Give me images. Here we go. Find it on Amazon so I can show it. There we go. Okay, here's my record of the day. Where's my switcher? Where'd the switcher go? Oh, I got a text, and it's buried behind the text thing. Okay, record of the day is this right here. Roberta Flack. Did I get to it? Did it take? And this is one that I think Chance D... No, I didn't. There we go. Sorry. Roberta Flack. And the album is called First Take. I did a deep dive into this record, and I listened to it again today. This thing's amazing, guys. This is an amazing record. If Chance D's in the audience, he's going to go, dude, where you been? But this was Roberta's debut record, and I am shocked because this thing has it all. This record has everything. It has all the things in it. It has soul. It has Spanish. It has gospel. It has ballads. It has jazz. It's got horns and harps and strings, and Roberta plays piano on it. And it's got this incredible range of styles. I was hugely impressed with this record. Now, the lead single off this was The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, which is kind of a sleepy number. It doesn't have the track list. Sorry, guys. We'll go back to me. And it became a hit because Clint Eastwood featured it in his first movie that he directed, which is, I'm drawing a blank on. But it starts with this amazing soul number. Like you're thinking, oh, she made like a funky soul record. That's her first thing. So it's right around the time, it's 69 or 70, and it's right at that birth of soul era where it evolved. You know, it took the leap from the Memphis soul and the Motown soul, and it sort of evolved into what would become funk in the 70s and James Brown and all that great stuff. And this record, like, it opens like that, and you're thinking, wow, it's going to be like 7 tracks of soul. The second track on the album is Spanish sung. That's how crazy this is. The second song is all in, it's a Spanish song. And then it goes from that, it goes into a 6-minute ballad, and then there's a gospel number and a folk song. So it's so many different styles, you can't figure this record out. It's just a delight from beginning to end. It's an interesting mix because it's got extended highs on it and a beautiful bottom end, beautiful deep low on it. But Roberta they've sort of clamped her frequency response. So like there's not much over 10K coming from a Roberta's mic. So it's kind of like the top of her, which gives her kind of a Memphis vocal sound, but then everything around it is this lively and open stuff. Very interesting record. I would highly recommend it. She's got Aretha's power, but she doesn't have Aretha's range. I just enjoyed the hell out of this record. So if that's my record, my record recommendation for the week, Roberta Flack, her debut record, and it's called First Take. Let's see if we can show it back. Yeah, there it is. First Take, Roberta Flack. Look for that record. Stream it. Check it out. See if you like it. Listen to a lot of stuff this week. A lot of new, not new stuff, but new to me stuff. I was really checking out and doing some dives into stuff that I always wanted to hear this. I'm going to spend some time and listen to this record. Did a lot of skimming on Tidal, which is great. So it's the best thing about Tidal is you can listen to all kinds of stuff and get different, recommendations from things. Found some super great stuff this week. I'll share these in the coming weeks, some of the stuff that really impressed me. So that's my record recommendation. Put yours in the chat if you've got them. I'm sorry Chance isn't here because Chance would just go, Michael, that's one of my favorites. I just know it. Baki says he likes their products, but their customer service is garbage. Are we talking about Raw? Talking about Cord? I don't think it's Cord. Must be Raw he's talking about. I don't know. Sari says, regarding the lower viewer count, I don't know how much it affects things, but it's 2 a.m. for him. So it's a late night stream. Yeah, I know. No, the live stream is the live stream. I never get many viewers on this thing. Like, I'll get some viewers after the fact. Well, people will watch this over the next couple of days. I get that. But the show, getting the show up in numbers, is like, I just do all the wrong things. It's terrible. I'm a bad YouTuber. Ace of Spades, yeah, the Wells Dragon level 3 is $5,000, which is the same as the level 3 for the Hollow May. Interesting. Are they level 3ing up and matching prices? Who knows? But listed at 2K or best offer from a good seller. It's a tube hybrid, so not exactly the type of amp Wells is known for, right? They're more straight tubes, but they're. I mean, like I said, I haven't heard anybody bitch about Wells products and say, "Gosh, that was really awful." I've heard them say it's too expensive. I've heard a lot of things, but nobody's heard. Baki says, "Has anyone tried?" And cheers to Baki. You're new around here, and we always raise a glass to newcomers and say, "Hey, have a good time, man. Welcome to the crazy." Anyone tried the Mass Kobo Model 475? Looks like an interesting product. Yeah, it's the amp that I have dubbed called the Marriage Killer, Baki. Because if I buy that amp, my marriage is over. I would love to hear I would love to hear that, and I want to spend some time with it at CanJam in the fall. You can find me at the Massdrop. I just want to hear it. I want to hear what it sounds like. It's a lot. It's just a lot of money, and I've learned a lot from the conversations I've had with guys like Ray and about amps and amp design and stuff, and it's like amps are fundamentally, there's not a lot that's changed in 20 years in the amp world. And an ideal amp doesn't color the sound at all. It just gets out of the way. You want the headphones to be the show. The headphones, you want to hear what the headphone sounds like. You shouldn't want to hear what the amp sounds like. You've kind of made a mistake if your amp is doing a lot of coloring to the sound. It shouldn't. It should kind of get out of the way. Now, there are amps that I think are better for dynamic punch, and I think there are amps that give a little greater clarity and things like that. But generally speaking, you get a much bigger change to your sound, to the sound, by purchasing a different headphone. This headphone will make a much greater impact on your chain than any piece of gear, and it should be that way. It should be that way. And I'm curious to hear what a $17,000 amp sounds like, but I don't know that it's, none of this stuff is needed. I think you can get a great experience out of stuff that's a lot less money, especially on the amp side of things. DACs are a little trickier because they're actually decoding, they're doing something to the actual music itself. So I think that those are a little trickier. But amps generally, to me, if you get a good amp, you should be good to go. If it's got enough power, you should be good to go. The only difference is like, how much power does the amp have on reserve? That's an important thing. How is it handling its power conversion from the wall into the amp? That's an important thing. Those are things that you can improve upon and make a difference on the output end of it. You'll have a quieter amp, quieter signal. More power on reserve means that when the signal calls for a burst of dynamic punch, the amp is right there with that power delivery. But amps are fundamentally the same. Like, a good $3,000 amp, as long as it's got enough drive for whatever headphone you're driving, should be good to go on almost anything, because it's going to be dead quiet and you're going to get the amplification you need. It's going to do its job and get out of the way. So that's why, like, I see a Massdrop 475, or I see the Riviera out there in the multiple tens of thousands. And I'm like, for a headphone, I'd rather, honestly, like, I'd rather have 3 great headphones for the price of a Massdrop, because you'll get more interesting sounds. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just yapping. Hipster Cow, cheers, brother. Welcome to the show. Ace of Spades says Michael McDonald Ultimate Collection is his current record he's replaying. What a great voice, too, What a great voice he has. And Michael McDonald is the most ubiquitous singer. He sang on so much stuff. In addition to his own stuff and Doobie Brothers and the bass stuff that he did, he was everywhere. He sang with Steely Dan. He sang with them. He sang on everything. He did great duets. Phenomenal. What a great singer. And a distinct voice. Beautiful voice. Beautiful, soft, gorgeous voice. Michael McDonald is one of the greats. Totally, now I'm anxious to get off the air. I'm going to go listen to some Michael McDonald tonight. That's great. What a great call. Hipster Cow said, anyone check the reviews of the Lave DAC? Looks fantastic. I have not. That is a brand I have not spent any time researching at all. Yeah, I mean, Chord's got this Suzy thing. I don't even know what it does. I did see that they came out with the Suzy also, in addition to this Q scaler thing. But I think it's a mid-tier product. But I didn't spend enough time to figure out what it was. I just got an email and I didn't. That's my bad research for this show. I was more interested in seeing the Focal stuff. I wanted to talk about Focal today because Focal's interesting to me. You know, they're one of the important headphone makers. You know, I guess they're all important, but you know what I mean. They're major. They set trends. They establish where we're going next. One of those brands. Audiofool says he went down a rabbit hole in new music the other night as well. Standout to him was Shannon and the Clams. Oh man, it's copying that over. That's going on my Audiofool. See, you got me into. Now I'm gonna copy this over. I've got some recommendations I've got to go through. I got a Herbie Hancock recommendation the other day for an album called River. I want to go hear that. And that's an album I may have heard that before, but I think that album is like a bunch of Joni Mitchell songs that he interpreted, which just fascinates the hell out of me. How do you do folk Joni Mitchell in a jazz environment? Oh, it'd be so cool. But that's on my short list. I've got a couple of things sitting here. I want to dive into a Tribe Called Quest. I haven't spent enough time with their stuff. I know a couple of songs, but I want to do a little deeper dive into that. Hip hop from the 90s. Just kind of like somebody was talking about them, like I need one of those bands I need to spend some time with. I gotta listen to this stuff. Hipster Cow says, yeah, he's heard the 475, same sound signature as the 465, way less power. Oh, we're comparing. Motion at my garage west. Wait. Is that my amp? Hang on. Is that the big box? No, that's my wife. And this director's here. Okay. I thought maybe the delivery from UPS, I'm waiting for that UPS thing. So great. Such a great upcoming episode, guys. You're going to die. It's going to be so awesome. He's heard the 475 sound signature as the 475 has the same sound signature as the 465, just way less power. Really only useful if you want to use it with IEMs, and it can deal with the power quirks. I'm not familiar enough with Mascobo's line. I just know the 465 is the one that everybody's raving about, and it also is the one that will end my marriage. It's very short circuit to get divorced in my world. Go buy that amp. Baki says, hey, watch my videos every so often. You should be watching every single day. And really enjoy the vibe. I was referring to the Abyss customer service. Oh, yeah, well, I sent a pair back to them, and it was a thing, too. Yeah, I hear you. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody. I mean, I just think there's a different air with that company. I don't understand where that company comes from. And it's interesting to me because, like, you know, they make great stuff, and I don't want to disparage that. There's no question their stuff is great. I just, like, I don't understand their pricing, their attitudes. It just seems like they think they're the best, so they make sure that they cost the most, kind of thing. I don't know. And that doesn't seem to me. And coming from a guy, I was just talking to, you know, I keep promoting this just because it's fresh on my mind. The Ray Samuels approach was like, okay, this is how much it cost me. How much do I need to make on this to make it worth my while to go through all the trouble? Because he hand builds the shit himself. He's hand building these amps. This next run of amps, the B21, is going to be his hand built. He's building them all himself. He's got 7 of them. That's it so far, you know. It's interesting. It's fascinating. So and then you see the Abyss thing, and you're like, I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into Abyss today. I don't want to beat up anybody. I do like. I will say without question, the 1266 TC, in my opinion, is one of the best headphones on the planet. It's in the short list anyway. Oh yeah, he was referring to a 1700, the mobile one. I'm not sure what that means. This doesn't read to me. Oh, I was referring to the A1000 700, the mobile one. But what you are saying makes sense. Love the Mojo 2 as a DAC, simple Atom 2, but was looking for an upgrade. I think he's talking about chord stuff. I just kind of got lost there on that. Sorry about that. Thank you for taking on amps. Really helpful. That's my opinion. I honestly believe that. I think that I just think that amps don't make as big a difference in your chain. If you've got a good amp, you should be good to go. And I've got several good amps here right now. So I'm not like necessarily looking to play the amp game because I've got good stuff. I've got a WA5LE 300B amp that's gorgeous. It sounds gorgeous. I know in the product line, it's now mid-tier for Woo Audio. But I've heard the WA33 and I don't feel like I'm missing anything with it. Would it be great to have it? Kind of, but I've got one of the best tube amps in the world here, in my opinion. So I'm like, this is hand wired. It's got black caps on it. It's got advanced everything inside of it. It's got hand wiring. Was built like a tank. It's 300B, which is a gorgeous warm tube. One of the best tubes you can run audio through. So I'm like, do I feel like, it would be cool to have a WA33? Yeah, but I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So, and it's 5 watts. It's got tons of power. It can power anything that I want it to. I don't think it pairs particularly well with the Susvara. It's not my favorite thing for the Susvara, but it's one of the best pairings for the 1266, speaking of Abyss. So there you go. JTB in the house. How you doing, brother? Cheers, JTB. Missed you, buddy. Get yourself a Geshelli amp that gives you huge value, then buy headphones with all the money you saved. Yeah. JTB, that's the right idea, I think. I think that's the way to go. Just make sure you have enough power. Make sure you have enough power to drive the headphone, the most difficult to drive headphone that you think you're going to buy, so that you're not underpowered. But as long as it's clean amplification, you're good to go, So there you go. JTB looking forward to trying the E3, Ryan Dietz says. Yeah, I've had it here. I think it's the Dan. Oh, is that a different E3 than the Dan Clark Audio? I need to step back from this because I think I'm jumping into something in the middle. Irish 3. What's that? You're not talking about the Dan Clark thing that I just reviewed. Ace of Spades says Mass Kobo 475. That's a $1,300 portable amp. Check out the Bryce Tsunagi. Ooh, it's a pretty great portable amp. Okay, I don't have a lot of portable amps right now. I still have the WA11. That's just my love of Woo Audio. I just like the way they build stuff. It feels all so chunky and solid. That's the only portable amp. Oh, and I have that tiny little head amp Pico that's got firepower for a tiny little credit card size thing. Thing's amazing. And it still works. It's 10 years old, 15 years old, and the thing still lights up. It still takes a charge, holds a charge. I'm like, why aren't you dead by now? I expected you to die. And it still works. It's great. Head amp. Little Pico Slim. Tiny little, just powerhouse of a tiny little amp. I mean, I'm talking, guys, it's like this big. Amazing stuff. JTB says he's a little suspicious of the Harmony DAC from Verum and Verum 2 from LA4. I don't know what it is. He just watched YouTube videos. I haven't seen any YouTube videos on any of this stuff. Like a well-coordinated hype train review. Red flag went up right away watching them. Okay. JTB, I just haven't heard it. I haven't heard of this brand. I'm sorry. I'm behind. I've been living in a tunnel. I was happy that I found out about the Focal stuff that everybody else apparently got to review before me. So funny. Gentlemen, hello. Glad he could finally make it. Nephilim 81. Cheers, brother. Cheers. Welcome to Friday. We've made it through the week, boys. JTB, that's fair and a pretty, that is pretty suspicious. Oh, about the reviews thing, but they all come out coordinated. Well, a lot of them, they just, I can speak from what I know about how this works. They will send select reviewers products weeks in advance of their release. And I know this from a lot of different things because I know how this works in other avenues as well as audio, so that they can have time to do their listening impressions, make their videos, but they ask for you to hold it until a release date. Then on that release date, the media embargo is lifted and everybody can publish their videos at once. That's generally how it works. And then if those guys are talking to each other, I don't really know. I'm not like a behind the scenes kind of guy. I don't know, do other reviewers, are they talking to calling each other on the phone every day or something? I don't have time to take a phone call. But maybe that's what's going on, and maybe they what did you think of it? I'm going to review it like this. Maybe there's some of that going on. I don't really know, though. I don't know how it happens. I just know that, I get stuff, I listen to it, and I put out a review, and everybody either loves me or hates me for it. Sorry. But I gave the E3 from Dan Clark a very favorable review after universally panning and being massively disappointed on camera with the Expanse that I'm now selling. Somebody offered me $2,400. I have an offer for $2,500 for that already. So I'm sorry, whoever Don 5 is on HeadFi, I'm not going to move on that. I have it listed for $2,600, and I think that's a pretty good price. Yeah, no, I don't know, but that's without the cable. I'm not selling it with my fancy cable now, because somebody said that nobody's going to give you the money for the cable. I'm like, well, I'll just keep the cable. It's fine. I'll go send it back to the cable guy and have him put a different end on it. Yeah, use them with my Safari, you see? I don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's my little insight to the review world. I do know that everybody gets it in advance so that they can release the videos on the same day. I don't know if there's in cahoots going on behind the scenes. Anyway. Yeah, the JTB says Ryan Dietz, he's going to get an Irish 3, already have the Arcal. So these are not, this is not the Dan Clark headphone. This is, we're talking about Geshelli here, I think. I'm not familiar with the Geshelli line either. Sparkos Ops amp, the E3 will have even more Sparkos in it. I'm so blind to this. I don't know what is going on. As a community here, now just happy we are for Mr. K. Yes, Mr. K is getting new shit. We're a big fan of that. Anytime somebody gets new stuff, hey, Mr. K, take photo when you get your stuff. Take some photos and send them over here, and we'll put them up on the show. I love showing off your what you guys are getting into. That's fun. So just make sure you do that if you could, sir. I'd appreciate it. And we would all appreciate it. We'd like to see it. Ryan says, JTB the same. His wife was using the A3, but he wants to get the E3. Okay. We've gone down a Geshelli rat hole, I fear, and I'm like swimming against the current. Guys, I'm swimming in Amp City. He knows he's more than good, but he still selfishly wants more. Yeah, I know. And it's been amp season for me. Like, I've been doing more amps than I've been doing. Holly just walked in. Hi, Howls. How you doing, buddy? Holly brought me a rabbit this big, not kidding, this morning. Brought him in by his neck, dropped him on the ground, and he was still alive. Because I have a little cat door, it goes outside. Brought in a rabbit, dropped him on the floor, and he's still alive. And I'm in my meeting for Entertainment Tonight. I'm like, video off, got a box, put the rabbit in the box. He puts the rabbit in the box, and then he walks the box down the street and lets the rabbit go under a tree. And I thought, if he's dead or if he dies, I'll just go back and find the corpse. But I can't deal with it right now because I'm in a meeting. And then I walked back to the house But the rabbit, I went back midday, the rabbit was gone. The rabbit lived. So Holly brought me a rabbit. It was this big this morning. I'm not kidding. It was, I had to put it, this was the box that I had to put the rabbit in. It's, I mean, that big. The rabbit was that big. Unbelievable. That was my warning. Sorry, guys. That was a rat hole. That was a rat hole on top of a rat hole. With you, JTB, regards to the vendor, if you haven't heard the lathe. See, this is all, you guys are all talking. I got to look into this now. Damn it. Lathe audio, you're saying. I'll try to find out something about it, guys. I'm sorry. I just don't know. I don't know this stuff. You're on the different things. JTB says he's not usually a conspiracy type guy, but those two hype trains just kind of jumped out at him. Kind of reminded him of everyone hyping the HD-8XX from Drop. That was not a good headphone. Didn't they do that for the 700? Remember when the HD-700 came out and everybody's like, oh, you can get the HD-800 sound for just $1,000, and then everybody's like, this is awful. JTB hopes he's wrong. The DAC is being hyped as a giant killer, and they all said DAC of the year for 24. I hope they're right, but he wants to actually hear from owners, not YouTube reviewers. Except me, JTB. I am the truth. Crap. So it's a Singapore company. Okay, well, there it is. It's going to be, you know, okay, something from Asia that's coming over, that's making a splash. Okay. Guys, says Nephilim81. Nephilim81 says, guys, have any of you seen or heard of the PB5 Osprey from iBasso? No. Honestly, that thing looks like it's the best portable tube amp in the world right now. Move over W88 Eclipse and KNC9. Interesting. I think that the portable world, I think the portable world is going away from the stack. Remember, like 5 years ago, you would have like, you'd have a this, and then you'd have a that, and then you'd put a this on it, and then they'd tie it all together with a rubber band, and you'd have this massive stack of crap. I think we're going away from that now. And I think the reason we're going a little more away from it is that the digital audio players are getting better. And the addition or the sonic gains you'll be getting in an IEM world on the road, unless you need that amp to drive something, like you want to bring a super hard to drive headphone with you on the road, I think that the DAPs are getting so good now that people are omitting, like the modularity of it all is going away. I think we're seeing less of that these days. Because I just have noticed fewer and fewer portable rigs, and I see on, you know, like just being out and about, even like at HeadFi meets and stuff, I've seen fewer and fewer of those guys walking around with the big fat stacks that they used to walk around with. I think it's fun. I think there's a fun quality to it, but it's like, it's a little absurd. And as somebody who is guilty of bringing big fat stack on a plane, and I'm sitting there and I've got the DAC and the amp and the player, and they're all bound together, and there's little jump wires going between them. Yeah, you don't need that anymore, guys. And to be honest, like some of these Bluetooth things are getting so good in the IEM world. I'm so anxious to hear the new stuff from Noble. I want to hear that thing. And then there's the new thing from Sennheiser. I still haven't heard it. There's a new Sennheiser TWS that looks really interesting. And then there's the new Noble over ear, which is the Apollo or whatever. I'm like, guys, Noble, hook me up. I want to hear that thing. So excited for that. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So that's the iBasso thing. So Amp City is a nice place to swim. The water is deep, be careful. And it's electrified. So don't get shocked. Don't bathe in amp, folks. Don't bathe in amp. That's JTB says, yeah, Lave is a LA. Is it LA4? LA4? LAIV? Lave? How do you pronounce it even? Brand new company from Singapore, he thinks. Michael is an exception. Yeah, he says, believe me, I am the truth. That's going to be my slogan. God, so lame. Audiophile, see, he's with me, Nick. He's super tempted by the ZMF Aegis. Don't need any more amps either. I know, big tube amp, right? Yeah, Bill actually wants the PB5. You can build an Aegis, though, because it's an open source design. You're just not going to have, you'd be building it on your own breadboard or whatever. But you can, you can get the design for the Aegis. Because it's all, it's an open source thing. It's great. Get it, Bill. Get the Aegis and then report back to us. Do a review. We need a video review. He'll have to look up the PB5. He's aware of it. What's the PB5? I actually want the PB5. Guys, you're dropping stuff on me. I am so far behind the curve. This is why I'm not a professional reviewer, though. I'm not up on this stuff. I thought I was so good bringing the Focal to you guys today, and you guys are all talking amps. Check, please, waiter. Wow, that's fun. So those are my topics for today. What did I get? Anything else I'm missing? We talked about the Focal. I talked about my album of the day. Anybody else got a record recommendation? Buy it so Michael doesn't have to. Michael can't afford to. Michael is still broke. Michael has insurance coming out this month. This is the May. In fact, next 5 days, my bank account is bracing for impact. Horrible. My insurance more than tripled. My insurance for the house more than tripled in 1 year. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? That's crazy. It shouldn't be like that. Have you guys seen the Aegis, by the way? Have you seen this Aegis amp? Let's go to ZMF real quick. Because it's cool, but it's not because they have the homage. That's the ZMF built. Where is it? Where's the amps? Dang it! I got to show it to you. Well, I've got 3 things going on here at once, and none of them are particularly helpful to the viewers at home. Okay, ZMF Accent. So this is the one that Zach made himself. They built and designed this in-house. Very cool little amp, $1,200. But he's also now building this thing. It's called the Aegis. This is not a Zach designed amp. Like they didn't. Can I go full screen? Why can't I go full screen? What's wrong with you people? I want to go full screen. Fellas, seriously? Let me try this. Open a new tab. Let's see what that does. There it is. Okay, so here's the Aegis. So I think Lord Gwyn is the one who published the design for this, the schematic, the how to put it together, design the amp. And Zach, the story is that Zach told me was that he heard this amp at a show and loved it so much, but it's an open source design. He's like, I'm going to make this. So he's like, he put his own spin on it. So it's got like all this wooden stuff. The knobs are wooden. He put meters in the thing. It's got all the things, but look at the tubes. It's tube goodness, folks. And all these are the windings back here that are disguised as like beautiful little boxes. Fabulous stuff, though. I mean, it looks amazing. That's an amp I'd love to hear someday. I'll hear it at the next show, probably. But yeah, the whole thing is, it's open source. So you can actually download, you could build this yourself. It's just not going to look as good because, we don't have the woodworking chops that Zach does. It's so fun, man. So fun. Yeah, so anyway, so that's the Aegis amp, if you guys are wondering what the hell that is. I'm going to have to look up this other stuff offline. I'm going to look at the PB5, whatever the hell it is. And I'll have to look up the this stuff from, what is it? Lave. All right, so Lave, I'm going to copy this over to my thing so I can investigate. So when you guys mention this shit, I can have some formed, I can at least go, oh yeah, Lave, I've heard of them. God, it's something. It's something. So there you go. So we called it, yeah, we just looked at the commercial version of the Aegis. Never mind going. I got behind on the chat. I'm just trying to finish these up and then we'll go home and set everybody about on their weekend. Audiofool says, never mind, you're going there. Yeah, I already did. PB5 Osprey. It's made by Ibaso. Okay. I'll copy that over and I'll take a look at that offline too. Do some homework. I give myself homework assignments. I don't just give you homework assignments. You gotta look the thing up. It's an incredible design. Looks good. He needs some VUs. You always need a VU. Who doesn't love a VU in their stuff? I love VUs on everything. I wish everything had a VU. I get nothing. I got nothing on this stack back here. No VUs. Nothing to look at to go. The only view is on that tape deck back there, but it needs it because you got to set up the tapes. Tube rolling, the Aegis is exceptional, great variety. Unfortunately, the driver signal tubes are 6 SL7s. A good pair of those is expensive. I'm not familiar with the SL7. I know the SN7. Cayin is building an Aegis for Zach. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Very cool. Well, at any rate, fellas, we've got some interesting food for thought here, and I'm going to go look up all this stuff and drool over it all weekend, and then I'll bitch that I can't afford it because I'm broke. Somebody buy my Expanse. I'm just asking $2,600 for it, folks. It's a $4,000 headphone, and it's got almost no miles on it. Okay. So fun. Okay, fellas. All right, that's going to do it for me. I want to send you guys out on your weekend. And JTB is recommending a new Slash album, Orgy of the Damned. Okay. Very good. Gets those crunchy guitars going. Fun stuff. Where's my... I got to find my goodbye music. Yeah, but... Look, that looks good. That looks good. Hit the like button for you people on your way out the door if you haven't. I'm asking people to do that. What a fun time, though. Good being back on the air. I'm sorry I'm a little rusty on the knobs and switches. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw you. Yeah, so guys, get on your way. Enjoy your weekend and look up all these things we talked about today. And I will see you guys, next Friday will be the live stream. Just saying that again at the end of the show. Next Friday will be the live stream. I am on the road next week. It's why I don't think I'm going to have the ZMF episode that's coming, the double blind unboxing. I don't think that's going to be done next week. I think it's going to be out maybe the week after. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I've already started it, but it's like it's in rough shape. Sade lovers, crank up the Slave song. The bass. Enjoy the bass. Getting in these last things. Yes, this is the closeout jingle. It's a good long song too. Now I can go out in style. All right, fellas, that's going to be it for me. I will see you before you know it. Cheers.
Set these headphones down. Cause it's headphone king. Cause it's time for happy hour, people. Let's hang out and get wasted at the director's garage. Oh yes, it's time to get juiced.